take a trip in my airship. Come take a sail among the stars. Come have a ride around Venus. Come have a spin around Mars. Show us while we're busy. Show us to see while we school. Come take a trip in my airship and we'll visit the man in the moon. Will the audience please?
Hello and welcome to another episode of Airship 27 podcast. I'm your co-host, Chief Engineer Rob Davis, here alongside Captain Ron Fortier. Hey, Ron.
Hey, Rob, we're back. Episode 83. Who'd have thunk? They said it wouldn't last.
Well, I don't know. No, but yeah. When we started this, I'm going, how long is this going to last? Who knows? But it's been kind of fun, hasn't it? All this time.
It has.
83 of these now.
It's been a lot of fun. And I appreciate all the really great feedback we get every time we do shows. To those, we get about 60 loyal listeners who tune in every time we put a new show up. We really appreciate their input and their feedback, and it means a lot to us. We've got a full boat this episode. So I'm going to let you get going reading the first agenda, and then go to it.
Yeah. Give me the bad one here, but it's farewell to another creator. This is the bad part of getting older. You start losing people. At the start of the month, we learned the sad news of yet another new pulp writer passing away. Richard Dean Starr was well known in our community and had written lots of great stories for Moonstone Books and other publishers featuring such iconic characters as Sherlock Holmes, the Green Hornet, and Wyatt Earp, if I could say it right, among others. His name was synonymous with quality stories filled with action and adventure. He will be sorely missed by all of us who love pulp fiction. Rest in peace, Richard.
Amen.
Yeah. Yep. That's the sad thing about this life. We have to leave it eventually.
Yep, totally. So, hey,
so let's
now we're gonna go from sad to stinker.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I have the dubious honor of relating the first bad joke of the episode. So hang in there. Here we go. All right. Betty and Frank wake up one morning and walk down into the kitchen. Betty first, she's going to start breakfast. And Frank's just finishing up in the bathroom when he hears this scream. Oh, my God, no. He comes running down the stairs, runs into the kitchen. She goes, look, all the drawers have been pulled open. All the silverware is gone. Their portable radio is gone. She goes, we've been robbed. He goes into the den. Sure enough, finds other items missing. Oh, freak. So he picks up the phone, and they call the local police, and the officers and detectives come over and ask him to make up a list of what was stolen. And Frank asks him, is there any chance at all any of this might be recovered? And the detective tells him, well, he goes, he says, they'll try to fence most of your stuff. And he said, we'll put the word out. He said, I wouldn't hold up too much hope. And the cops leave, and, Frank and his wife get back to trying to get their lives back in order again. It's a couple of weeks, and it's just about dinner time when the phone rings, and Betty picks it up, and she says, yes. She says, oh, hang on, Frank's right here. And she calls Frank over. He picks up the phone. It's the police detective. He says, I've got some good news. We caught the burglar. You're kidding. He said, nope, we've got him down at the station. He's been processed. And he says, unfortunately, you can't get your stuff back because it's going to be used as evidence in the trial. But once that's all over, you'll eventually get it back. Well, that's great news. So he hangs up, and his wife gives him a hug and a kiss, and I'm going to go get dinner ready. And he starts to walk back in the den. He goes, oh, honey, he said, I'm sorry. He said, I forgot. He said, I've got an errand to run downtown. He says, I'll be right back. This will take me 10 minutes. So he goes out, jumps in the car, and rides as fast as he can to the police station. Parks the car, runs into the station, goes up to the desk side, and says, hi, I'm Mr. Jones. I hear you caught the guy that burglarized my house. And the desk sergeant says, well, yeah, we did. He's in a cell downstairs. He says, can I talk to him? Sergeant looks at him and goes, excuse me? He says, please, he says, it's important. I need to talk to him. Well, that's impossible, Mr. Jones. I can't let you do that. Oh, you have to. Please, you have to. What's so vital? He said, don't you understand? This man broke into my house in the middle of the night and didn't wake my wife. I want to know how he did it.
I love it. Great. That's a great bad joke. Oh man.
All right, Loyal, we're at it again. Here we go. Hey, look, I'm gonna let Rob again read the next agenda, but Rob will swap off back and forth to this piece.
Yeah, this is more good news. Pulp Factory Awards final ballot has been announced. Members of the Pulp Factory group have concluded their nomination part of this year's Pulp Factory Awards, and the awards committee has put together the final ballot and started sending it out. They sent out a link. Voting is open to the public, and it ends on the 28th of March. See the show notes for a link on where to go and vote. So I'll have to dig that out and put it on. Winners, as ever, will be announced at the Windy City Pulp and Paper Convention in May. And we'll also list what days that is. Pulp fans should know when that is, but we'll put it in there anyway. So
I can tell you immediately, it's Mother's Day weekend.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mom. And it's also Free Comic Book Day weekend.
They would do that to us this year, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they did it one time before too. What you gonna do?
At least it doesn't conflict with Planet Comic-Con like it's done a couple of times now. That has sucked. But anyway, I'll let you start.
So we got 5 categories here. I'll read off the first ones, okay? And then again, this is what you're going to find on the final ballot. Please check the link out because, again, as Rob said, I want to reiterate, it is open to the public. You can go to this Google page and you can vote one time. Okay, so here we go.
Put in your email address so that you can vote, and then they won't let you log back in with that.
So there's no stuffing ballots or any of this stuff.
Yes.
So nominated for the books that came out last year, all right, in 2021, Best Novel, Captain Hockland and the Invisible Enemy by Charles F. Milhouse from Stormgate Press. Fangs of the Sea by Fred Adams Jr., Airship 27. And The Great Chicago Fire Conspiracy by George Takei's Airship 27. All right.
Yeah. Best Short Story, Saturn's Child, Mark Allen Van, Saturn Child and Other Tales from Zeppico Press. I'm hoping that's how it's pronounced because it's spelled with an X, so it should be a Z. Snow Shorts, Snow Ambition by Brian K. Morris from BEN Books. Okay, now this next one, I hope you put this on here correctly. It says Strigoi, Strigoi, and I'm hoping that's how that's pronounced because I have no idea. And
it's basically like an old world vampire. Strigoi.
Okay, something I haven't seen, but that's by our pal Jonathan Sweet, and doesn't have a publisher. What's his publishing line? Do you remember?
Hang on a second. I know it. See, Brick Pickle Press.
Brick Pickle, that's right. Yeah, Brick Pickle.
Brick Pickle Press.
It's a tongue twister. Brick Pickle Press. So next one to you.
All right. So now, best anthology or collection. Blood on the Blade from Flinch Books. Mystery Men and Women, Volume 7, Airship 27. Occupied Pulp, Flinch Books. Pulp Reality, Volume 2, Stormgate Press. Pulp Reality, Volume 3, Stormgate Press.
And the next one is Best Interior Illustrations. Chris Nye for Rune Master, Shield Maiden's Blade, It's from Airship 27. Ed Cato, The Musketeers, New Adventures, Airship 27. Gary Cato, I'll get him right here in a minute. Gary Cato, Pulp Mythology Volume 2, Airship 27. Guy Davis, The Silver Pentacle, Airship 27. Rob Davis, C.O. Jones, Hometown USA, Airship 27. Stephen Burke's Pulp Reality Number 3, Stormgate Press.
All right. I think it's the first time we've had the Davis brothers in the category. Rob and Guy.
Yeah, I think we're cousins, if anything. Distant cousins, because every Davis in the world is supposed to have come originally from Wales.
Aha.
So,
all right.
I don't know. That's the myth.
All right. And our final category of the awards is for Best Cover. And we've got Clayton Merwin for Pulp Reality Volume 2, Stormgate Press. Adam Shaw for Fangs of the Sea, Airship 27. Adam Shaw again, Jezebel Johnson, Volume 7, Mastiff, Airship 27. Douglas Klaba, Saturn's Child and Other Tales, Zeppico Press. And finally, Rob Davis, Jezebel Johnson, Volume 8, Revelation. So, boom, there you go. I mean, some excellent entries
companions
on this.
there, especially in the best cover deal with Douglas Klaba, Adam Shaw, Clayton Merwin. Just some great company there in that, and also the same with the illustrations. Thanks for nominating me, folks. I appreciate it.
Yeah, hey, I the thing with the awards to me has always been, the original intent in creating the awards way back when was to bring focus, to bring the spotlight to this new pulp community. And just looking from year to year at the caliber of nominees, all right, to me, it's the best testimony that new pulp is alive and well. All right. I mean, really, we've got these kind of writers and artists still producing work for this community. Bravo. Okay. I mean, and look, you loyal airmen, I'm sure you're familiar with some of these and some you're not. And go find the ones you're not familiar with. Go check out those writers and artists. All right. Their work deserves your attention big time. All right, so let's get back to what Airship 27's been about this last month or so as we hit release since last show. I'll let you take number 1, Rob.
Okay, Mystery Men and William volumes 1 and 2 are now back in print.
Yay!
After almost 11 years, we decided it was time to bring these 2 books back in print, as they are the only 2 in the series that was only being offered as a Kindle. That is no longer the case. Volume 1 features stories by Barry Reese, David Boop, Aaron Smith, and B.C. Bell, while Volume 2 has yarns by Adam Lance Garcia, Greg Bastianelli, Andrew Salmon, and the 2 late passed away, Mark Halegua and Derek Ferguson. Very nice to get these back in print. For anyone who hasn't seen the notification that we did on these, I did something a little different with these, trying to bring the price down a little bit. These are not, normally we have about a 3/4 of an inch margin on each side of the book inside. But in order to cut down the page numbers and make which cuts the printing costs, I made the margins a lot narrower than usual. So I would not, it's aesthetically not as pleasing, I think, but I thought if we're going to reprint these, let's make them put them at a price that everybody can go back and pick them up. That'll promote them a little bit. So they're not quite, they don't look quite the same as our regular books, and I don't plan to make any changes on the regular books from here on out. But for these 2, and possibly any that we might do in the future, I thought this might be a one way to make it financially feasible for us to do them and for people to pick them up fairly inexpensively.
That really worked out well. And I have to tell you, Rob, I was really happy that after we made the announcement that this was going to happen, several of those writers got back to both of us. Very, very happy to see that the books are going to be back in actual print so they could get copies for their convention appearances or whatever.
Sure.
And of course, also a lot of our fans who really made this series something really special for Airship 27. And it seems like each new time we put out a new volume, there's always an interest in back issues and back volumes. So it seemed to me...
So we'll see if this bumps them up.
Yeah. And that was the whole point. So you loyal airmen are going to be the judge like you are of everything we do here at Airship 27.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we got those two books out, and then, hallelujah, Domino Lady Volume 4. And it's really another great issue featuring stories by Gene Moyers, Kelly Nolan, Kevin Finley, and Samantha Leonhard. James Lyle did his usual great illustrations, and Ted Hammond once again turned in a really dynamite cover. This series is usually a sellout for us. I hope you'll check it out. Rob's going to post that picture of the cover later at the end of the show.
Yep.
You'll see what we're talking about. Ted's a genius. He has a real fondness for our blonde bombshell, as it shows.
Yeah, right. Same thing with James Lyle. Each issue of this just keeps getting better and better, which I thought was impossible. The first time I saw his stuff, I'm going, that's great, but it just keeps right on up the level. So definitely, definitely.
And now a special book. Go ahead, Rob.
Absolutely, a very special book. Mark Halegua's The Blue Light. This one's by Nancy Hansen and Lee Houston Jr. It is inspired by notes and ideas by our late pal, Mark Halegua. This is a wonderful tribute book to our dear friend, Mark. Artist Sam Salas provided the interior illustrations, and yours truly did the cover.
Hey, I am so happy to have this book out. After we lost Mark last year, it was really a shock to all of us because those of you who have not as yet had the fun or experience of attending a pulp convention, and I hope this only intrigues you to do that more, the pulp community, and I'm not just talking new pulp, I'm talking the entire pulp community, is definitely a bunch of some of the nicest, kindest, generous people you are ever going to want to meet in your entire life. And Rob and I love being a part of that community. And early on, when Airship 27 started dipping its toes into it and seeing if we were going to be welcomed or get the cold shoulder or whatever, one of the first souls to really come up to Rob and myself and make us feel welcomed, all right, and open the doors was longtime fan and historian Mark Halegua from New York. And Mark was such a fun guy. I mean, right? I mean, do you ever remember him not cracking a joke, laughing? I mean, just the minute we'd see him.
Yeah. When it was always needling you. He was a big Yankees fan, and you being a Red Sox fan. Of course, that's.
Oh, I took a licking, boy. I took a bad licking. Oh,
I would be sitting there, and I'd hear this voice over on the other side going, "Hey, something about those dang Red Sox," or then you throw something back about the Yankees. It was a lot of fun. So he is very much missed. Very much missed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And so again, of everything he did, there was that little longing to do something, to create something. And so in the process of joining the major group, the Pulp Factory group, all right, over the years, all right, Mark hit it off with, of all people, what the lady I'm happy to call the queen of new pulp, Nancy Hansen. And they developed this amazing friendship, correspondent friendship. And it was really powerful to the point where when Mark said, okay, you know what, I'm going to try to write a book. I'm going to try to create my own pulp. The first person he went to was Nancy, and Nancy was only too happy to start working with him. Well, as we all know, sadly, that never came to fruition. Mark shared some parts of stuff he'd already written and notes and ideas that we said with Nancy. And then ultimately, she got caught up doing a project for Wolfpack Publishing, writing a Western for them. And so she just handed it off to Lee Houston Jr. because they lived together in Connecticut. Lee lives with their family, the Hanson family. And so Lee got involved. Well, then comes the bad news. We don't hear from Mark, and we find out Mark is gone. He's passed. And I'm thinking, I'm not aware of any of this until I think maybe it was a few weeks after his passing. I get this email from Nancy and Lee together saying, would you let us write this book for Mark? And I was like, you got to be kidding. Really? And they had enough material. They knew how to do it. They were going to work together. And, man, we gave them that green light immediately. All right. Off to the races we go. Sam Salas is a local artist here in Fort Collins. I've known him for going on to maybe 10 years now. And we just, Kismet, happened to meet at the comic shop one day, and he wasn't doing much of anything. And considering the story, because by then I read it, edited it, and knowing how, the style that Sam has, I thought this could work. So by the time I left the comic shop that day, I wrangled Sam into being our interior illustrator a little bit. And he had fun. He had fun. He didn't waste any time. He turned it around rather quickly. Rob does the cover, which I love. I think it's absolutely fantastic. And so the thing that all of us have been kicking around, especially this last week when we were ready to launch the book and get it out there, okay, was the fact that all of us could feel, honestly, okay, there was a vibe in the air for all of us, every single one of us, that our buddy was up there going, thumbs up, amigos, thanks.
Go.
Yeah. I tell you.
Yeah. One of the biggest things he wanted to be a pulp writer. He wanted to be a pulp writer. And he is one now. This is his character. He was a big Green Lantern fan. So there's some of that feel to this, although it's different. But it's a superhero type feel to it. So I'm sure he would be very proud of and very happy to see this out there.
And have his name on it. Yep.
Yeah, have his name on it. That's right. And it is up now. The print and the Kindle versions are up there, and it's ready to order. Head over to the catalog and check it out.
Okay. Hey, Mark, that one was for you. Okay.
That one's for you, buddy.
Yeah, but hey, I'm still rooting for the Red Sox. Oh, if lightning strikes me before the end of the show, we'll know what happened.
All right. So, hey, look. Next?
What is coming next? All right, hey, I'll start with Mystery Men and Women, Volume 8. Once again, we have 4 terrific stories of new pulp heroes. This volume features writers Kevin Findlay, Mark Allen Van, Joel Jenkins, and the late, can't get away from this subject, amigo, the late Greg Hatcher. Rob supplied all the interior arts for it, and the cover was by Adam Shaw did the cover. No, you're doing the cover.
I'm doing the
coming
cover.
We're talking about coming
Adam
next.
Shaw did the last one.
Right, he did volume 7.
Number 7.
Which
also had a Greg Hatcher story in it.
Right.
But yeah, I'm gonna base this on a sketch that I did for volume 7, which it inspired what Adam did, but it's completely different. But Ron liked the idea, and we're going to try and do it up as soon as I finish the interior illustrations. I'll get to work on the cover for that one. So that'll be 2 books in a row there. So
yeah, and here's the thing: we've talked about this before, and I want to mention it, and it seems only fitting with the way we started the show talking about Richard Dean Starr, and then Mark Allegua, and now Greg Hatcher. This is where we're at with the Greg Hatcher thing. Greg also passed away last year after he had begun this Dr. Fix-It series for Mystery Men and Women. And the one that you will be finding in Volume 8, once we've completed it and put it out there, is the 3rd completed Dr. Fix-It story. All right. So there were 3 of them. All right. And we've published every one of them in Mystery Men and Women. Well, after Greg's passing, I am corresponding with his wife, Julie, and we're talking about, Greg's work and how much we loved it and how sad that, he's gone. We won't be getting any more. To which she sends me back and says, well, Greg had started working on a fourth Dr. Fix-It story. Whoa. Okay. And now the wheels are really spinning. All right. Because if we could get a fourth story, then there would be more than enough for Rob to collect all four with the artwork, everything, a new cover. Okay. We would put out a book of Dr. Fix-It stories by Greg Hatcher. Greg Hatcher's Dr. Fix-It, much like Mark Halegua's The Blue Light. But again, we've got a half a story. Now, Julie sends it to me a few weeks ago. I sat down and I read it. Just as good, just as great as the first three. And sure enough, where Mark had to end it when he'd gotten sick and had to leave it behind, you almost sense it's the middle. You almost know he got to that middle ground. And so I am thinking, and I immediately had somebody in mind for this. And it was basically our good friend, and again, one of the most proficient, technical, and prolific writers that we have, and that's ex-college professor Fred Adams Jr. And so last week, I wrote Fred, explained to him where we were at, and asked if there was any way he would consider, one, reading the first three Dr. Fix-It stories in order, and then secondly, after reading them, would he look at the fourth story and consider finishing it for us? Fred got back to me and said, send the stories, I'm on board. So what's going to happen is after Fred finishes completing Dr. Fix-It number 4, all right, Rob will do 3 illustrations for it, as he has for Mystery Men and Women.
Yep.
Sometimes within the next few months, summer, whatever, we will put together all 4 stories completed. The book's title will be Greg Hatcher's Dr. Fix-It. And then at the bottom will be a little line that reads, with Fred Adams Jr. And that will be, again, our homage and our tip of the hat to another one of our colleagues. You know what, Rob? I'm getting jealous of the good Lord, because he's got so many good writers up there. All right, he's taking the best. He's taking the best. You know.
The editor-in-chief has taken a few of our writers away from us, hasn't he?
Yeah, he sure has. All right, but then again, he always loves a good story. So,
I mean, you would think.
Yeah, well, he's the best storyteller of them all. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. So okay.
Anyway.
After Mystery Men and Women, what can we expect, amigo?
Well, this one's been a while in the burning as well. This one's Doc Atlas, Volume 1. It's a collection of 3 previously published stories by writers Michael Black and Ray Lovato. The character has been around for quite a while, and we'd hoped to get this book out in 2018. Well, life intervened. The health issues beset Ray, and then the COVID arrived in late 2019. One hurdle after another. So now that those things have been dealt with, everyone is healthy and ready to get this new Airship 27 series rolling at high speed. Pulp Factory Award-winning artist Ed Cato takes on both the interior illustrations and his first ever cover for Airship 27. To say we're excited would be an understatement, as is Ed. And we just got an email from him within the last couple of days. He's working on the cover. He said, well, it's going to take a little bit. And we're going, okay, that's fine. He says, well, I had forgot. I hadn't used my paints for quite a while. So I had when you let them sit for a little while, it takes a little while to get back into the groove of using those again. So it's taking him a little longer than he hoped, but he wants to really put everything into this. So take your time, Ed. We'll wait for it. It should be. From what he's said us so far, it's looking really good.
Well, we've seen the composition, so we know what the composition is. Okay, to imagine that painted, all right, blows your mind. And he made a comment in one of his early letters to both of us when he started working on the cover itself, to the point of, I'm going to be the next Frank Baumhofer or whatever. Go, that's what we want. Shoot for the stars, all right? Because I Ed's super talented. Okay, absolutely amazing artist. So I'm sure he's going to knock our socks off when we see the final piece. Okay, so that's the second book that we talked about. Shortly after that, we've got Rob and I were just talking before we started recording. You know, we go up and down with this as any independent publisher does. But right now we're up. We're going up. We have so many books that are coming to completion almost at the same time. And I'm guessing, as I put our agenda together, the next book after Mystery Men and after Dark Atlas most likely will be Deadly Shadows. Now, that's our second John Shadows book by writer Teal James Glenn. This features 2 stories of shadow adventures with interior art by Ted Lemon, and who now has 11 of the 9 interiors all done, which is why I say we're really close. And Rob's already finished the cover. Okay, so basically it's going to be a case of assembling the book, getting, I don't know if you have the back cover done or not, but then again.
Might have. Okay. I'd have to look.
So, books assembled with the interior arts. We send it to a proofreader. We send it back to Teal for one last look over. So, Deadly Shadows, John Shadows 2 is just over the horizon.
The books are coming around the back bend in the race to see who's going to come to the finish line.
Oh, hey, look,
that back corner.
Right, and so that's the list that we posted. But let me tell you, Loyal Airman, today I am reading and editing the last new Bass Reeves short story by Mel Odom for Bass Reeves Frontier Marshal Volume 5. Okay, and we've got a cover for that from our good buddy Warren Montgomery. So that's not going to take a long time. Okay, I put the finishing reading editing touches on Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective Volume 19 2 days ago, and we haven't put out 18 yet. So it's just and hey,
and there's plans for 20. We're already making
right.
Since that's going to be a big one for us. That's going to be a special edition.
Yeah, we've got some surprise. We've got some
plans for that one.
Yeah, I want to thank.
That's a few issues away yet. So,
writer Ian Watson brought some things to our attention, so that's really important. Hey, that's pretty much the list of books. I want to get to this next agenda, which is anything else, and I'm going to let Rob read it off because usually he's the guy you're going to deal with this particular subject. So go to it.
Okay, and we've already gotten some feedback on this particular one. So anything else? Reminder for Windy City Windy City Pulp and Paper Show. I'll get it out here in a minute. Put my teeth back in a little bit. Several of you have already written to us asking us to bring certain titles to Windy City, which is great. That's exactly what we want. For you loyal airmen who are planning to attend that show, notify me, and I'll put the email in the show notes at the end ahead of time if there is a particular Airship 27 title you would like to pick up from us at the show. We still have time to order, and it depending on when you watch this episode, if it's at least 2 weeks out from the show, if it's 2 weeks out, get to us right away because we can order about 14 days out, and they are likely to get to us in time. If we still have time to order it, if it is not already in our inventory. But look at the calendar closely, loyal airmen. That time is soon going to start shrinking. So just another reminder, get those requests in now. We want to bring stuff that you want to buy. We don't want to bring more than we really need to. It's the more of you that let us know what you're looking for, the better. So we'll be sure to have what you want. I'd hate for you to come into the show and go, why didn't you bring this? Well, because you need to contact us and let us know we needed to have it.
Our catalog number now goes to we're pushing like 156, 157 titles that we have produced since we came into existence. Okay,
moving in on 200. Yep.
Right. So I mean, look, guys, even with 2 long tables, which we always have at Windy City, okay, we can't put all our books on those tables.
My car wouldn't hold them.
Yeah.
I'll break the spring.
Oh, totally. So Rob and I, it's a juggling act, all right, and we try to, look at because we haven't made our order yet for Windy City. We haven't basically decided.
We haven't even talked about it yet, really.
Right. Generally, like we were talking to Mark Van Zandt about that in emails, you and I together, and generally it's a case of what we look at is, okay, so what did we put out after last year's Windy City, going up to this moment in time and space now in 2022? So I want to say that's probably a good 10, 11 new titles that nobody has seen yet at Windy City. Obviously, those we're going to focus on. Now, keep in mind, all right, last year we ended up at the show, which was the first time at the show after we'd skipped the COVID year.
Almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years.
Right? Yeah,
we had
2 years.
We had tons of inventory. We had a one-time special, right, pricing, because we wanted to lose that stuff. And hey, you know what? Thank you, all of you who helped us in such a huge way with that. It was a huge.
That was boxes under my table.
Oh, it was successful. It was a really successful special, and it helped us a great deal. Now, one or two people have said, "Are you going to do the special again?" Look, here's the thing: we're going to bring the new books. That has to be our focus. It cannot not be our focus. We want to, every time we do a new show and we have loyal customers amongst you, you come back every year, you want to see new stuff. You don't want to see what was there last year. Okay. So the focus will be on those 10, 11 new titles, and we will be bringing what we didn't sell last year, as always. All right. Will we discount some books? Well, we already have a discounted box of books that are at least 3 or years older or more, and you pick those up in the
inventory that long,
right? So you can pick those up like $4 a piece, as I recall.
Yeah.
All right.
We sold a bunch of those at this last show.
And
Thank you again.
Guess what? Yeah. We'll be adding more to those every time we come to the show. So that's one guarantee I can give you. If you're looking for something special that's not going to break your bank or your wallet, and you'd like to pick up some, check out the bargain box, because I guarantee you there'll be more new titles that haven't been there before. And that's the best I can offer. Hopefully we have a huge turnout. It's a successful show for everybody at Windy City, all our friends, all our fellow publishers, and we sell out a ton of books and only gear ourselves up for Pulp Fest coming at the end of the summer.
Yeah, I'm already starting to think about that one. And then there's only 2 weeks between Planet Comic-Con, which I normally go to, and Windy City. So I have to think about what to order for each of those. And so it's always a crapshoot. Hopefully I won't throw snake eyes, but and as COVID is now winding down, let's hope that more and more people can come to the shows, and we can start supporting some of these vendors out there some of them have been struggling because there are a number of folks who set up at these shows, Planet Comic-Con, Windy City, Pulp Fest, all these shows all across the United States. That's how they make their living, setting up at these shows. And COVID has hit those folks really hard. So if you can get out to those shows, I bet some of them are going to do what we did, and that's mark some of their stuff down to move it out. Because that's a good thing to do at this point, which is why we did it at the last Windy City. Ryan and I I haven't done an inventory and see what we have yet, so I don't know how many of those are going to end up in that box or what else we might do. But we will be talking about that in the next few days, just before we do our order. I have to know what we have on hand before I can order what we don't have on hand.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
We'll look at that. Yeah.
Yeah. And if there's a way we can come up with some other special little things like buy 2, you get this or whatever, we're going to work that out. We're going to work that out. Okay. We need to move product. And if we can do that and make you guys happy at the same time, then it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah. If I don't have to bring home very many boxes, I am very happy. And so is the floor in my studio.
Okay. Hey, look, we've covered the main agenda. Is there anything else that you'd like to bring up at all?
I thought that I was trying to think if there was something that came to mind, but if it did, it's flown off. So, but yeah, I'm very happy to look forward to this convention season. I think with any luck, fingers crossed, prayers said, good thoughts gone out. COVID has finally kind of bottomed out. If we don't get another version that comes back and bites us in the rear end again, we can actually start going to shows and seeing our fans again, and them seeing us and having a good time. Because that's sitting in the studio all day long with just the camera and talking to people on Zoom or whatever. That's not the same as seeing you in person. It's not the same. So looking forward to that. Fingers crossed.
We talked a lot this episode about past friends. Okay. And that's why these shows are so important. And it's like Rob said, okay, writing, drawing, any kind of creative work you do by yourself. It's a lonely thing. You socialize. Your heart goes out to your friends, all right, who share the same loves and passion. And these people become really like family to all of us.
They do.
That's why when their passing comes, we're hurt, okay? So, let's get out there. And you know what? Here in Colorado, Rob, most of the mass mandates are gone now because the numbers are dropping every day, every week.
Same happening here in Missouri. Yeah.
Yeah. And so again, fingers crossed, good Lord, take care of us. A couple things I wanted to just bring out real quick for myself. This will be my last week in the office before vacation time because my wife said, that's it. I want warm weather. Valerie has set us up. We are leaving the 14th and 15th out of Denver to Fort Myers, Florida, where we will be spending 2 weeks. There are plans, Rob, hopefully the last weekend we're there, which will be towards the end of the month, if weather permits, if the people were with her family and everything, we may be taking a ride down to the Keys to visit Bob Dice and his wife, Barbara.
Oh, cool. That would be fun.
Fingers crossed. Bob knows we've exchanged contact information, and if it comes about, I'll be giving him a call, heads up, and tell him we're on our way. Something to be really happy to do.
Have you ever been to the Keys before? Have you ever been down there to see the Keys?
Never.
My son Ryan and his wife Taylor went there. I believe it was their honeymoon. They went to Florida, if I remember right, and they went down to the Keys and told us about it. I've never been there myself. I've been to Daytona Beach. I remember going there when I was in high school, and we went to Orlando for Disney World. But but the Keys are a whole different deal.
Well, again, it's all I've heard of from everybody I know that's been there. And again, Bob lives there, so that's an opportunity to hook up with him at long last. So then we get back home. And we have all of 3 days, because then we'll be attending a new Comic-Con here in Colorado.
Right.
All right. Yeah. Our good friend Todd Jones' first ever Wicked West Comic Expo. It takes place in nearby Loveland, Colorado on April the 2nd and the 3rd, Saturday and Sunday. So any of you listening to this in the Midwest area, Colorado, Wyoming, New Mexico, Arizona, please, April 2nd and 3rd, Loveland, Colorado. He's got an extensive list of really top-notch creators, professionals, and whatever. And I am so looking forward. This will be my first show of the year. And then after that, you do Kansas City, and then we do Windy City. And so we get 2022 rolling along, buddy. So,
And then Pulp Fest. And then you have it was Rocky Mountain Con? Is that
Rocky Mountain Con, November, usually around the time of my birthday. So I usually try
to list those on our webpage, the catalog, the opening page that you go to that's airship27hangar.com. The opening page, I'll have a news, and then in there right now it's got the ballot, the number of the Pulp Factory stuff that we talked about earlier. That's on there, and then it starts talking about. It also has where we're going to be in the near future, and of course, Windy City's on there, as is Pulp Fest. So, and my Planet Comic Con visit. So check it out there, and you'll get the latest information.
Okie doke. Hey, that's it. Now it's time for Rob's bad joke of the episode. Take it away.
Okay. This one's not as long as the usual ones I get, but what I did was I looked for who has birthdays in March. And I can't remember whether this person does or not. It's George Carlin, I believe, has a birthday in March. The late great comedian George Carlin. And I'm going, did he have a joke that I could tell on the show? Because he had a kind of a blue show. He used foul language quite a bit. But this one is harmless in that respect. But it is funny, and it's fairly short because he's like that. And then I have a tish that I'm going to do right after another really, really, really short joke. So anyway, a guy runs a red light. Taxi driver. His passenger tells him not to do that, but the driver says, "It's okay. My brother drives like that." He runs through another red light. His passenger tries to insist, but the driver says again, "I told you, it's okay. My brother drives like this." Then he comes up to a green light and stops. His passenger asks, "What's he doing now?" And the driver says, "Well, my brother might be coming the other way."
Okay.
Thank you, George Carlin. Well, anyway, okay, for the badumtish, what do you call a bedpan in Russia? A poo tin. A poo tin.
Oh.
Thought that would be topical.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Oh. Well, hey, look, Loyal Lemon, once again, you have lost another hour of your life that you're never, ever going to get back. Ever. But as ever, hey, thanks for watching. Still stay safe out there, okay? Just common sense and judgment, and we will be masked up flying. Most of the terminals are still, wear a mask. Whatever, because even if you are, had your shots and whatever, it doesn't mean other people have or other people can't be susceptible to get it.
And there are people who, even after all that, they still get infected, and some of them don't know they have it and can still spread. So that's why I've got all that stuff, but I'm still wearing a mask just so I don't give it to other people in case I catch it. So and don't know. Oh, but anyway, hopefully we'll see you all at Planet Comic-Con and the Pulp shows this summer, Windy City and Pulp Fest. See you then. Take good care of yourselves.
And thanks for watching as ever. Rob, sign us out.
This is Chief Engineer Rob Davis signing off.
And Captain Ron says, down ship.